Okay, fam, we got another E on P 101. And this is off the brain. This is off the mind right here, right now. So come on, ancestors, guide me through this. Guide me through this, ancestors. I feel it. Like my brain is just sparking everywhere. Like I'm really on some Jimmy Neutron shit right now, right? Like my ethers are frying. Like, okay. So we know the unconscious mind is the primordial depths, it's the primordial water. It's like going beneath the icebergs in the deep depths of the water, right? So if you look at that, what is the subconscious mind, right? So wouldn't the subconscious mind be like the pre-conscious, like as a child is being born, it's like it's in that pre state where it's like being programmed, right? It's being programmed. So you being in the subconscious mind. Okay, like I was saying, like with the subconscious mind, wouldn't this be like the pre-conscious mind where it's like this is where we are being programmed and where things are being programmed? What I mean is, like, look at the external world. Now, unconsciously is naturally like your emotions, like the intuitive side, like your creative side, right? And in the midst of that unconscious mind, the subconscious mind is birthday, right? So this is where, like, you in the external world, and your external world is programmed by the emotions that you feel in your unconscious, like internally, like the emotions. You program your subconscious mind off of the emotions that you feel, because the unconscious mind is the creative mind. It's the creative mind. It's the intuitive mind. So it's like you being intuitive, a naturally intuitive being, going into the subconscious mind. What you feel internally creates the reality. This is why, like they say, watch what you think, watch what you speak, or going into the conscious mind, which is the logical, the analytic mind, the way we speak, the way. Okay, like I was saying, going into the conscious mind, it's the way that we speak, it's the way we do think, it's our logical mind, it's our analytic mind. So going from the subconscious mind, from the unconscious mind to the subconscious mind to the conscious mind, it's like you actually being birthed. Like the unconscious would be like the womb. It's the womb. So and the subconscious is like that, like the seed that's being planted, right? So now that seed's being planted, that seed is growing, it's developed its own consciousness to a point like the seed, you reaping the fruits that you have sown, right? So like you reaping the fruits that you have sown. That's exactly what it is. Like I look at what they were talking about, like the Garden of Eden and shit. The mind is the Garden of Eden. If you really think about it, the unconscious mind is the woman. The unconscious mind is the woman. The conscious mind is for the Adam. Matter of fact, no. I believe the subconscious mind is the Adam because it's the seed. The conscious mind is God. Ooh, the unconscious mind is Eve. The subconscious mind is Adam. The seed, because you really look at Adam, Adam is an Egyptian god. He's the first god that came down here, and he gave himself. He created life by disposing his body and creating more other gods and stuff. You really want to be honest, like do your work on the Egyptians, search up Adam, do your research on Adam, because he's the first god that came down. Now with the Adam and Eve story, I already made a video about this, so if y'all want to go down in the, you hear me, go down in the feeds and check. I made a video about the Adam and Eve story. The Adam and Eve story was a flip of a verse of the human story of how the humans evolved. How humans evolved. From them being created from Satan, and how he was a jealous God, and how he told Eve not to bite the apple from the tree. And when Eve did it, she seen consciousness herself. She realized she is God. She realized she, as a divine feminine energy, she is God. So what Satan do? He punished them. He made man work for his labor, right? So you really break this shit down and really pay attention to it. The unconscious mind is where we develop ourselves, where we build and connect with our intuition. So now we're going to intuition. We are creating. We are creating and experiencing emotion. And the emotion that we are experiencing creates our subconscious mind, which is the seed. So it's like you planting that seed. So now that seed growing. So you feeling these emotions. You watering the seed with these emotions you feeling. So mind you, like if you having like, okay, this like the emotions of, like this could happen, all these different traumas. Like if you're not healing your traumas is going to feed that seed, and that seed is not going to grow. It's going to just stay right there. It's going to be stagnant. But if you feeding positive emotions, reassuring yourself, affirming yourself, that seed grows. And when that seed grows, you tap into your God consciousness, which also like the super conscious. You understand you are the creator of life. I'm transmuting my emotions. I'm not giving my emotions. I'm transmuting this emotion, and I'm growing, and I'm elevating. I'm going for self, connecting more with my intuitive side. This is where like you manifest. Like if you honestly manifest, because if you plant that seed in your subconscious mind, you creating your reality in the unconscious mind. Going to the subconscious mind, okay, these emotions are coming up. So now you feeling your subconscious mind. So it's like you're gonna have 6 protons, 6 electrons, 6 neutrons, right? 6 protons, 6 electrons, 6 neutrons, the atom. Subconscious mind is the atom, right? So you pay attention to it, like you're gonna have positive thoughts, you're gonna have negative thoughts. When the negative thoughts come, how you transmute them negative thoughts to be positive thoughts. When you having positive thoughts, make sure you hear me, like them positive thoughts, like you tap into the consciousness. And more you go into consciousness, and you're gonna be conscious aware of the reality you create, you're gonna have a negative trying to pull you down. And it's like in the midst of that, you transmute that and you lift the seed back up. You know how when a plant died, it started to shrivel down? Look at that emotion like that. When you feel these negative emotions, they start to weigh you down, right? They start to weigh you down. But when you transmute that, and you affirm yourself, you put life in yourself. You start, you hear me? You start growing, you start sprouting out. You start spreading your wings and shit like a butterfly. You go in the cocoon, right? You're going through this phase of change and stuff, and change is uncomfortable. You're in the cocoon, and it's like you just close yourself in. Caterpillar going to a butterfly. You're in the cocoon, right? Close my. You're the caterpillar going to a butterfly. It's uncomfortable, right? Uncomfortable. You're going through all these emotional changes. You're going through all these hardships, and it's like once you crack the shell transformation, you start getting a little stretch. You start spreading your wings. You hear me? You start flying. You hear me? Like, it's just so beautiful to understand the mind. It's like you have to understand this mind. You got to understand your mind. You got to understand your unconscious mind to develop and become the person that you want to be. Because God gifted us with the unconscious mind to use it to manifest to our subconscious mind. Our subconscious mind. The subconscious mind. How are we transmuting these emotions? We creating. Now, in the midst of us creating, these emotions that we feeling give power to what it is that we create. And you got to be consciously aware of that. You got to be consciously aware of that. You feeling your emotions, and you know you're creating this reality for yourself, or you no longer want this reality for yourself. You got to go through these emotions. It's like how they say, like, this is how they say, like, Moses separate the oceans, and she separate the ocean. Look at the mind. Look at the mind. The left brain and right brain. The left brain and right brain. He separated the left brain and right brain, and he was able to create this path for himself going up to consciousness itself. His crown chakra, right? Like, I'm not even read the Bible, but it's like everything's just so symbolic. Everything's just so signs and synchronicity. You just got to pay attention to and understand, like, how your mind works, how your emotions work, how your thought process work. You got to understand your abilities. You got to understand your talents. You got to understand just like the things that you find passion in is going to bring you and manifest everything you need, because naturally we already beings of luminescing beings, primordial beings, etheric beings, and everything's already coded within inside of us. So once we tap into the unconscious mind, which is like the primordial depths of the water, this is where we create the conscious mind, going up to higher into the different realms and different realities, but it's all luminescing, it's all primordial water, it's all water, you know? And I think that's it. I'm trying to think of something else, but I guess I just gotta finish describing, so.